All right. If you're just joining us, please make sure to invite your guests, to invite your team members to the call. We have about 53 participants. Let's get it over 100. Today, I'd like to introduce to you our featured speaker for the day. And this is none other than Mr. Money Michael Huggins. Now, if you don't know Michael's story, before getting started with Renatus, he was working two daily wage jobs, one at Jiffy Lube and then the other at Sears Auto Center. At Jiffy, he was every day covered in oil, doing oil changes for people. And, he was in such financial scarcity that he didn't even have a car. He had to ride his bike to work. When he'd get to work with his bike, he'd hide them in the bushes so that no one could see them. And that was the kind of situation that he was in. He was living in his girlfriend's basement, using bed sheets for walls. But around this time, he was fortunate enough to find out about the Renatus opportunity. And after getting introduced, he plugged into the system. And, what I really admire about Michael is that he created a standard for himself, a commitment. He said he wouldn't shave his beard until he completed his first profitable deal. And that's exactly what he did. He created he did his first profitable deal, got rid of the beard, and now, let's fast forward after plugging into the system, doing multiple real estate deals, and really growing his team. Now, Michael is a 7-figure income earner, a best-selling author, and now he spends his time helping others unleash their potential. So without further ado, I'd like to bring on the line Mr. Money Michael Huggins. Michael, how are you doing today?
I'm fantastic. Good morning, Abby. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the call. Thanks for joining in. And if it's been a while since you've been here, welcome back. We're happy you're here. There's a lot to catch you up on. We've been busy with this whole month of exciting events for March. Like Abby was saying, we're starting out this weekend with the intensive, then we got Super Saturdays, and then we're swinging right on in to the Nationals. This is going to be awesome. So, are you going to make money at Nationals? That's my question to you. Are you going to make money at Nationals? Some people will, some people won't. But I'm going to give you a few ideas about how to maximize, because we have changed a few things about how this is going down. So speaking of the fact that we changed a few things, you got to remind your team members and other people that you're hearing talk about the event, remind them that this is brand new. They had never seen what's going to happen. This is brand new. What's going down, how it's going down, the changes that are being made, this is brand new. So if you've been to Nationals before, that's great, but it's not enough. You got to come every year. And who are these people who think that they're going to grow a team, they're going to gain respect in the marketplace, and they're going to grow a team, but not attend Nationals? How are you going to foster any sort of respect or credibility if you don't go to Nationals? That's just, you know what I mean? Like, it's just you got to go. You got to go. All right, I'm switching over to the iPad here. I want to cover a few things with you. And just as a reminder, the cat's out of the bag, ladies and gentlemen. The business center, as you know it, is going away. You realize the impact of that? The business center, as you know it, going away. So with that, since it's going away, we should probably get more familiar with the new system, yes? Okay, so some of you are like, business center is going away. What does that mean? Well, for those of you who are brand new or don't know what I mean, for the last 8.5 years, we've only had the business center. So if you've been around for the last year, you've been able to have this split between business center and Helios. Well, I'm excited to tell you Business Center is going away and we're going to have Helios only. So everything that you're so used to in this, it's all going. So you got to come to nationals to learn the best of the best, how to take advantage of all this stuff. Then going into Helios, there's a whole campaign, everything behind this. Like I said, your business is about to explode. You have to be at nationals. So while we're talking about nationals, if you guys wouldn't mind helping me help you, type into the chat box, what are some objections that you've heard or that you're experiencing when it comes to the topic of attending nationals, right? Driving across the country, doing what you need to do, making sure you're in attendance. What comes up as resistance? What when you go into your office and you got your ticket, and you're like, woohoo, got my ticket, you got yours? And they're like, no, I'm not going because what is it? What do you guys hear in that cuz? Okay, we're getting some cuz of money. Cuz of money. Time off of my real job and money. Okay. I want to get my money's worth, but what I've already paid for and do at least one profitable deal before I sink more money in. Okay. Okay, so is this worth talking about? You guys want to hear my thoughts and feelings on this? I'm just curious because we could talk about anything. I want to make sure it's valuable, but what I have, my feelings about these different topics are a little bit different. So what do you guys think? What should we do? Should we address these?
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's get in on it then. So, money. First of all, money. Well, tell me what that means when you say money. Tell me more. Those of you who did say money, is it the cost of the ticket, the $327? Is it their bus ticket? Can't afford the trip, the hotel, etc. Okay. So Daniel, I got your text this morning. So we'll address that in a minute. Good morning, Amaris. Okay. So when people say I can't afford it, this is one of the new things I've been doing. Excuse comes out of their mouth, right? Blah, 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 excuse shows up. What I like to say, following the excuse, is, how do you know? In some accusatory manner. How do you know? Hey, I can't afford it. Well, yeah, well, how do you know? And they're going to go, what? It's like, did you add it up? Or are you just making up something? How many of these people, Daniel, have calculated how much it's going to cost? So that's part of it, is what is the actual cost? What is it going to be? So, right, they come up with some sort of excuse, right? Time, money, questions, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so they got their excuse. I immediately go, yeah, well, how do you know? Oh, I could never do that. Oh, yeah, well, how do you know? Oh, I can't. It's awesome. Instead of like, because sometimes we'd react like, ooh, don't say that yucky word, can't. And some people don't get it. They go, yeah, but I really can't. So then this is that next level. Okay, well, how do you know? How do you know you can't afford it? How much does it even cost? So if we're there for 28, 29, 30, you need 3 nights. Technically, you only need 2, but why not leave Saturday or Sunday morning instead of Saturday night. But some people will leave Saturday night because they don't need a hotel that night. But if you think about it, how much is a hotel? $100 a night? Or an Airbnb? If it's $100 a night and you cram 4 people in there, isn't that $24 a night? Or 25? Sorry, I was writing 4. $24 a night, $25 a night. Okay, so if you stack it correctly, for some people it'll be $50, right? Because we got Thursday, we got Friday night. Some people will check out Saturday morning and then just go home Saturday night. So what's the big deal there? $50, $100? Okay. And then as far as meals go for the hotel or for the trip, we already covered hotel. But meals, what I did was I went and bought a couple loaves of bread and some PBs and some J's. And I went to town. So how much do some loaves of bread and some PBs and J's cost, right? If you get, strategic, you get some fruit, some avocados, just some simple stuff, right? You're not there for extravagant meals. I'm saying $20 if you go to the grocery store. And then you don't need a fridge either. If you got some fruit, some bread, some PBs and J's, right? Then you get your coffee and everything at the hotel or at the event. We're going to feed you Friday night. This stuff will be easy. Seriously, so we're looking at $20 here, maybe $100 in hotel. If you really get creative, you can get it down even more. And some of these people, if you just give them $100, they'll show up, right? Be like, hey man, I'll help you out with gas money or something. Okay, so speaking of that, car rental or plane, right? So depends on where you're coming from, but I've seen plane tickets for $50 all the way up to, 700. So it just depends where you're coming from. But most of them are closer to the lower number, $50, $100, $200. How much did you guys spend for your tickets, your flight tickets to Salt Lake City? I'm gonna drive. So for me, it's gonna cost in my car round trip for me about $150 in gas, but that's because I have a twin turbo V8. If you rent a car, like with the Nissan, it's gonna be $50. Okay, so Raphael's the only one that answered. Thank you, Raphael. There we go. There's Hira. So okay, so $340 for Raphael, $450 for all the way from Philly, from the East Coast. Tyrone spent $220. Corey's $260 round trip from Arizona. Diego's $430 round trip from ATL. Okay, so 700 is even high. We're looking at under $500. Kevin Woods got $400 from Sacramento, $250 from Seattle. Okay, so we're definitely, the majority is under $500. So we're gonna change that, $500. Okay, $294 for the whole 3 days, splitting it with Brian. That's what Tyrone said. So he figured out for under $300 for hotel, splitting it the whole trip. And that's not even being creative and like, that's just splitting with one guy. That's just Brian. Okay, but what if they had 2 more IMAs they could cram in there, right? Bring a sleeping bag. Bring a sleeping bag. Sleep on the floor. I'm telling you guys, the amount of energy that you're gonna get from making it there and making it back, you could use all year. So here it says for his Airbnb, it's $165 for the trip. Dang, that's awesome. So Jeff Says he's got an extra room. Jeff Nuri's got one. He's got some extra space if you guys are looking for some collaborative efforts. So see what I'm saying, guys? It's not going to cost that much. Now, some people just need a perspective shift. It might overall cost you $1,000, right? If you're not scrimping and saving and doing PBs and Js. But if you think about it, if your teammate or you're still wondering, man, should I do this? If you got to put it on a credit card, right? You got to put $1,000 on your credit card. It's going to cost you $15 a month until you pay it off. $15 a month. So now you got to ask yourself, can I afford $15 a month versus can I afford not to go? Okay. Now it's an investment. It's that switch. It's that willingness to do something different, or are you going to cling on to the same? It's not easy. And some of you are going to go and say, Michael, you don't know my situation. It's not easy. It's not easy. No, it's not. Thanks for pointing out the obvious. Now, I'm not saying that because I don't care. I'm just saying that because you're saying something that goes without saying. It's hard, yes. But isn't it hard to have a job you hate? Isn't it hard to get paid less than you're worth? Isn't it hard to wonder what's going to happen? That's hard. Just make it happen. Okay, so Ravi says it's $250 each for 8 people for 3 nights, includes round trip team building in a suburban. Yeah, so you spend what, 12, 13 hours all the way from Seattle. They're driving. It's freaking awesome. So I know a lot of people will be driving from Denver and from Phoenix and from Idaho, from everywhere. So think about the benefits and the team building you get to do while you're in the vehicle as well. Rent a van, rent a Suburban, check your tire pressure, and hit the road. So for most of us, I don't know if you had a good realization that this is it's not that expensive, right? Some people think, oh my God, it's going to be $1,000. I can't do that. Keep it in perspective. So go back, revisit these conversations. Remember, you got to ask for the order several times anyway. Now you got to ask for this order with your teammate, with your client, with your prospect. So get creative. Think about that. All the way from Seattle, getting $250 per person for 3 nights. That's $75, $80 a night, basically. That's incredible. So let's keep it in perspective. Keep it in perspective. All right, and Jess has got an extra room too. Hit him up, looking to collaborate on deals and save you some money on your nationals trip. So come on, guys, let's work together. This is awesome. And then someone else was saying, I want to get my money's worth out of it, but I've already paid for, and I want to do at least one deal before I sink more money in. So Matt Fisher's getting that excuse, and not that excuse. I guess it is an excuse, right? That would be saying like, it's right. Newton already knows once we stay solution focused, the way will reveal itself. Okay, so there are some people who are going to use their job, right? They go, I got the job. Well, the job comes with all these, quote unquote responsibilities, and there's this time commitment, and you gotta do this and that and the other thing. Okay. And now you have your business and its responsibilities and its time and it's this, that, and the other thing. They're both calling for it. Yeah, let's talk about that. So they're both calling for time, right? They're both calling for responsibility. They're both calling for this, that, and the other thing. Get it? Whatever you put energy into is what you get. Whatever you put energy into is what you get. Um, so, so when people start to defend their job and they say, I can't because of all the responsibilities and all the time and this, that, and the other, I can't, my job is asking for that. Then you say, well, you son of a gun, whatever you defend, you get to keep. Whatever you defend, you get to keep. So why don't you defend your business? Why don't you put the responsibility and time and this, that, and the other thing into your business instead of your job, right? If think about that, if people did that with their business and they're like, they went to their job and they said, whoa, 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 you can't schedule me on that weekend. I'm busy. But instead people go, well, I can't go to a business thing that weekend. I got my job. They got it backwards. You have to defend your business. Say, well, man, I told you not to schedule me on Thursday nights. I told you not to schedule me Saturday mornings, and don't schedule me at the last weekend of March. I got these responsibilities and these time commitments. Stop acting like your job is the most important thing. Now, I'm going to come back to that, but Daniel asked a question. He said, good morning. Major takeaways, money is a tool versus a reason. But a lot of the times we're doing that for money, right? For money, for money, for money. But then we learn money is not the most important thing. So he says, my vision is still not concrete, it's a little vague, although it's becoming more specific, but it's constantly changing, which is making the results difficult. So I feel like without a clear vision, I'm wandering around aimlessly, and there's no point in doing the action. But if I don't have any action, I don't get a goal, but I don't have a goal. So what's the point in the action? What do I do? Okay, now that I'm looking at this for the second time, this is easy. Here's what to do. Add value to the people around you. Stop having a goal. Stop having a reason other than eliminating human suffering. That should be your reason. Eliminate human suffering. That's what we're doing here. Now we're just doing it in the economy versus other people doing it in other ways with their different inventions and their this and that. But we're here to eliminate human suffering. So that's the reason. Okay. And you don't really need a goal, right? You just need to get committed to your process. My process is I introduce people to this program to eliminate human suffering. And whatever amount of money I get is the amount of money I get. That's why it's easy for me. When you can look someone dead in the face and say, I will eliminate your suffering if you spend 20 grand here and commit to a new mindset. Let's do this. So it's not that people want to get rich in real estate, or it's not real estate. It's not even getting rich. It's ending the suffering that people want. And so that's what we get good at here. That's why we write books and get on these calls. I'm trying to end your suffering. You're trying to end that next person's suffering. So I get to work through all of you beautiful people on the call to end that suffering in another dimension. So I don't have a goal necessarily like, yes, I want this house and I want this car and I want these things for Vanessa, and there's my own personal stuff, but at the end of the day, that all falls into ending suffering. And there is a lot of silent suffering going on in this country, in the world, for sure in the world, but especially in this country, the silent suffering. Everyone just says, it's okay, everything's fine. Don't ask me about my retirement account. Don't ask me about my student loan or my auto loan, but everything's okay. That's not the case. They're suffering. So the reason I work so hard is to end that suffering. The reason why Bob Steiner works so hard is the same thing. So don't be so focused on a goal, man. Remember in yoga, what they say, if you have one eye on your goal, you only have one eye on your path. Cool. Now, let's talk about the next thing. Because remember, we're talking about when whatever you defend, you get to keep. So we're talking about how people are constantly defending their job, but they don't want it. And what an inherent contradiction that is. So if they just took that, people are like, oh, my precious, you remember Gollum from Lord of the Rings, right? My precious. They're doing that to their job. Oh, this is my precious. I hate it, but it's my precious. Don't ask me to call in. Don't ask me to take a day off. Don't ask me to do anything. And it's my precious. Come on. If that's really the case, then why should I ever answer one of your phone calls? Right? You got these IMAs who are like, I want help. I want help. Great, come to nationals. No. My job is conflicting with it. Well, quit your job then. Well, no, I need this and I need that. Yeah, but Renatus provides that. But it's this ending loop. You got to get out of it. Okay, so Charlene asked the question, how will you get someone to openly talk about their suffering? This is Jay Massey 101. He talks about that in Real Estate Sales Success. It's the pendulum theory. You talk about how everything is fine for them. Hey, you probably don't need this because everything's working out in your way. Hey, I don't know where you're at in life and probably everything's working out exactly how you want it and you have more money than you know what to do with, but I thought I'd let you know. Hey, you probably get to take all the vacations you want and get to spend as much time with your family as you want. I found a way for more people to do that. You're probably already getting it, but I just thought I'd let you know. If you assume the positive, then they'll talk about the negative. But if you assume the negative, right, like we're assuming that they're suffering, and if you bring it up, then they're going to go, no, everything's fine. But if you say, hey, man, with your great attitude and how hard you work, you're probably ahead of everyone when it comes to retiring, right? And then they're going to go, well, thanks for the compliment, but I actually don't have a retirement account. When you assume the positive, hey, I found a way for you to spend more money with your kids. I mean, you're probably already doing that enough, but I thought I'd just let you know. And they're going to go, well, actually, I'm open to figuring out more ways. So it's always assuming the negative. Or, assuming the positive to reveal the negative. Yeah, you got it. Okay, then Robbie points out that people are more likely to run from that pain than to run towards their pleasure. So that's another reason why we just assume that the painful things that everyone's dealing with, they're not. And then they go, well, actually, I am struggling. Help me out. Okay, and then LaShawn says, treat Renatus like your job and work for yourself. Yeah, exactly. So whatever you defend, you get to keep, right? So many people are defending their job like crazy. And I'm sure you guys catch yourself in that. And it's hard. It's this catch-22. You're like, but the job provides me with the money I am at least living with now. So if I get rid of that, what will I do? But you're treating your job with such scarcity that no one wants to work with you. And so your business will never grow. But if people see that you're willing to leave your job for your business, then people go, well, it must be a good business. I'll work with you. But if you're so wrapped up in keeping your job, no one wants to work with you because the business must suck, which then why should they sign up? See what I mean? So you're making it harder for yourself by making it hard for yourself. It's so dumb. How can we help people with that? Yeah, so Robbie put it another way when you're assuming, hey man, you're probably doing so well. I'm really just wondering if you know anyone that is looking for more ways to take a vacation. that is looking for more ways to get their kids involved with business, that's looking for more ways to a job they hate. Yep, so whatever you defend, you get to keep. Okay, so what should we talk about now? You guys get it? You're picking up what I'm putting down. You got to look these IMAs in the face and say, that's a load of crap. You need to get your ticket. You need to get there. If you keep defending your job and defending what if, well, what if you get fired? Good. You probably the best thing that happened to you. Then you really go actually try something. What if? Don't live in this what if world. So really when it comes down to it, people just don't count the cost. How many of you was it an eye-opener to hear the cost of how much people are getting to nationals for? Right? It doesn't actually cost that much. And then what you get to do to like prove it to yourself that it's worth it, especially your first year, folks, if you've never been, you have to go. And if it's your second year, you have to go. And if it's your third year, you have to go. It's just one of those things. When you realize that you can do this business and you can do it in less time and you can have fun doing it, you actually will. But somewhere along the way, you thought that making money was hard and making money was painful, and so you're making it not as hard and painful. You come to nationals and learn a different way. So not only learn at nationals, but why don't you build? Why don't you build? So here's something Diana pointed out. She says, last year, I was only in Renatus for 1 month and I went to nationals. And I'm so glad I went. Well, now she's got property under contract. She's closing sales. She just enrolled someone last week. Things are happening for her. And she was only in for 1 month. So we had her spend 20 grand. And then we looked her right in the face and said, also spend 300 on your ticket and also take time off of your work and also drive over here. And she did. And now things are completely turning around for her. So use Diana's story. In fact, Diana, are you in a position to come off of mute and just share a little bit of your thought process so that everyone else can use your story to tell their prospects or tell their IMAs why they need to be there? Are you in a position to come off of mute and spend 30 seconds or a minute and just share your story?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Go for it.
Yeah. So I had signed up just for real estate and I went to nationals because, I just needed to get to know more people, and I'm a executive, so I needed more proof that I had spent $20,000 in the right place. And I am so glad I went. It was the most amazing experience in the world. I also got my coaching through Woody Woodward, and my life has completely turned around. So do it. Sacrifice whatever you need to sacrifice. Like Michael said, your job is just your job. And if they fire you, then that means they don't value you. So you need to value yourself.
Beautiful. So she saw the value in herself and invested that time and energy. So think about that. She spent 20 grand and still was like, you know what? I'm going to go spend an extra $1,000. Now, Diana is, I don't see her sleeping in a sleeping bag, but I don't know. I'm sure based off of what her life has turned into now, Diana, what you're getting now in your life compared to a year ago, would you have slept on a sleeping bag for 3 days to make it happen?
Oh, yes. Yeah, definitely. And I actually stayed at Motel 6 to make it happen.
Nice. Got whatever it takes, ladies and gentlemen, whatever it takes. Okay, so now Chuck had a question. What about them worrying about kids, right? Your guest is interested, but their kids are either too young to leave with a sitter, or too young to leave at home, or too young to even leave in the hotel room. Yeah, Hira, one thing that I remember Hira is every year he just brings his kids. He's got his little baby. We have 3 kids under 4 and a sitter watching them at our house while we're away. But what did you do the first year, Hira? And what did you do the second year? Are you in a position to come off the mute and just share real quick? Okay, so that he types it in here. He's always brought the infant.
Yeah,
So,
I'm here if you can hear me, Michael.
oh yeah, go for it. Tell us how you were able to manage that, and what is your theory and thought process behind bringing your kid?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. The first time we met you actually at the Seattle launch, so we had our oldest, and she was probably about just over a year. So we brought her to nationals as well, and then the next year we left her at home, and we brought the other baby, Nikki, our second born, because she was an infant. And then last year we left them both at home and came without a baby, and now we have an 8-month-old who is going to be staying home with our sitter as well. So if they do bring an infant, just make sure they bring them protective earmuffs, because it does get loud. But some, and if the baby is disturbed or whatever, you're able to walk around and comfort them and just get out of the conference room, so it's not really interfering with anybody else's experience. But we've done it multiple times, so don't let that keep you back from doing it. Ideally you want to be there so you can focus, but again, you got to do what you got to do.
Okay, making it happen. You got to do what you got to do. So he said there's plenty of space for your kid. Bring the earmuffs for the noise. And, people are very accommodating. There will be other kids there. I think that's accommodating. Other kids will be there. So it's not unheard of. It's not going to be out of the ordinary to bring your kids. I know a lot of people do that, especially if you're bringing your spouse, and then they can just trade off and leave the kids in the room, and they can watch movies, and they can, goof around at the pool, and one spouse is with them for a little bit one day, and then they switch off and taking notes and, making it happen again. So kids are more than welcome to attend, and has never really been an issue. Let's see, where are we at? There we go. Okay. Alden says, Nationals was my second exposure. I've got ultimate time and money freedom because I went to that event. So you could bring that up too. Like, there are people around the country who didn't even enroll yet and went to Nationals and got tons of benefit from it. So you don't even have to be enrolled to go to Nationals. That's a huge point. Now, if you go look at what happened to Alden in the last 2 years with the investments, with the businesses, with the growth personally and business-wise, it's a revolution. So don't let people say, oh, I'm not a member yet, so I'm not going to go. That's not a thing. Nice. So Brian just said Tyrone told him the same thing about excuses. You just got to show up. So working with the promos, working with the promotional giveaways. Hey, buy a combo, I'll get you your ticket. Okay. Yep, and Diana's got kids and dogs, and her husband just took time off work, said, all right, sweetheart, you go to Nationals, I'll take time off of work, hold down the fort. It's a beautiful thing. Yep. There we go. Okay, and the Keeley just said, what? Just found tickets out of the Mesa, Arizona airport for $63 round trip. For those in Arizona, consider the Mesa airport as opposed to the Phoenix airport. $63. That's incredible. I spent that on my breakfast. You get a plane ticket. That's awesome. Cool. And then here it just points out, we were able to connect with some of the other parents too, and that the family is accommodating. Beautiful. Anytime we get to hang around and learn from people who have what I want, it's a no-brainer. Okay, so I saw, Ravi, you raised your hand. Did you want to come off mute? Is there something you wanted to share? Or did you just click the button by accident? What's up?
I was just going to give you another testimonial. I joined end of January last year. I went to nationals because my mentor said I needed to be there. Found 2 business partners, have done 4 wholesale deals, currently doing my first fix and flip, and I've got another one under contract as of today. All because of nationals, really, because I found funding and everything when I was able to connect with people.
That is bad. Did you guys hear that? So I remember one of the objections was, I'm gonna wait because I already sunk money into this. So Ravi, you've spent money on your education, and then people say, no, you got to go spend more money on this, that, and the other. What was your impression, and how did you get over that mentally?
It's a business expense. I don't really care. I mean, yeah, I bought the X combo in January, and then I need to come up with another $1,000 to be able to go to nationals last year. But luckily, I have a supporting, loving wife, and we pulled together everything. We started saving as of January because Miss Heidi told me, you got nationals in 3 months. You're going to have to save for that. So, okay, no problem. We started putting money aside every month.
Made it happen. So let me ask you this then. If you hadn't created those relationships at nationals, where would your business be right now?
I don't think I would be in business, to be quite honest, because I found I found like 7, 8 investors that are local here that I didn't know about because I couldn't make it just because of work and everything. I couldn't make it to the meetings, but I was able to connect with them there, and we all kind of sat together, the whole Seattle team. So yeah, it was huge. And then I got to meet amazing people like yourself, Mr. Scott Rowe, Mike Adams. I have all your guys' contacts.
Nice. Yeah, that changes the game too. So those of you who have students or IMAs that say, well, I already spent this money, I'm going to make more money before I spend more. You say, no. That's not how business owners think. Business owners follow value. Let's go get connected. It's just a business expense. We get to create relationships, national and locally. And you're going to get that inspiration that'll last you all year in order to use your education, plug in, overcome the fear and the other things that might distract you. So this is to build your real estate business. And Ravi's story is awesome. And there's hundreds more like that go, my business grew because I went to nationals. So if that objection comes up, you gotta just swat it down immediately. That is not a real objection for staying home.
Yeah, going to nationals was such a big eye-opener for me. I decided right then and there that next year, so this year, I would be better prepared for it. So as soon as they announced the dates and the place for nationals, I was already booking an Airbnb, letting people know I have this many rooms available, and that's how we were able to get it down to that $250 price for everybody to go and be able to travel and everything. So, because I always hear you and Scott Rowe talking about creating a value for your team, and so I created a value for my team. Majority of the people that are coming are all like brand new this year that are under me.
Sweet, good job, man. So it's also a leadership opportunity coming to nationals, being able to step up into a leadership role and add value to more people. And, Ravi brings up a good point. Let's lead our teams. But then some of you might think, well, I don't have a team, so maybe I won't try so hard. No, your team is Renatus Nation. There are other people who maybe are afraid to go to and using the same excuse you have. Well, reach out to them And together, you guys can overcome that excuse or that objection and that limitation and get there. It's worth the effort. It's worth the hurdles you got to jump through. I'm just telling you, if you don't go, there's regret. There is regret. And Jim Rohn says it this way, right? He says there are two pains in life. We're talking about pain versus pleasure. There are two pains in life, and we get to pick them. That's a good thing. We get to pick. There's the pain of discipline, right? Get disciplined enough to get the time off work, to do this, to do that. And there's the pain of regret. Okay, the pain of discipline, he says, weighs ounces. But the pain of discipline, the pain of regret weighs tons. So you are going to experience a little bit of pain, one way or another. You got to be disciplined, and you got to say a little bit of no to this and a no to that in order to say yes to nationals. So yeah, there's going to be some discipline, which is going to create a little bit of pain. That's right. But if you try to go for a pain-free life, you're just going to, it's not going to work. It's such a false premise. It's not a pain-free life. It's you choose your pain life, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Now, if you think about it, Ravi, Diana, Kira, they don't live in Utah. So they all had to travel quite a distance in order to make it to nationals. And they have all sorts of what could be really good excuses. I've only been in for a month. I've never done this. I live across the country. I have an infant. All these things. And they still made it happen. And to the point where they're telling you it's worth your time to make it happen. So you need to carry this message on to the other IMAs. And think about this. The IMAs that need it most, the ones who need it most aren't on this call. The ones who need it most don't plug into the trainings. They don't come to Super Saturdays. They don't hop on these. So they don't read their emails from nationals. And they're the ones that need it the most. So you have a moral obligation to share this message and to assist other IMAs. Because what if someone didn't assist you? Now, they may not have directly assisted you, but because of where you're at, somewhere along the way, you got assistance. So sharing this message of don't defend your job, don't let your kids stop you, don't let the money stop you, don't let the time stop you, listen to this person's story. Like you're calling them to let them know because they're the ones that need it most. They're the ones that weren't on the call today. They're the ones that don't open their emails. They're the ones that don't have the discipline yet to get on these and get into a new schedule and a new rhythm. So you have an opportunity to go and create that huge value in someone's life. So if you go and create that value in their life, then you automatically activate the law of compensation. If you go and create value for someone, the law of compensation kicks in. When you give value to a new person, right? Value goes to them. And by doing that, the universe will make sure that you get the same value. So go help someone get to nationals, help someone overcome that. That help is incredibly valuable. And by creating that value, the universe will make sure that you become compensated for that. So get out there, spread the message. Sharing is caring. Don't take excuses. It's Money Monday. Remember, we got our intensive this Saturday. So get out there and get them to your office, get the message out there, help them understand. We got a way, we got a solution. We're the best. Smile and dial, baby. We'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks, Abby, for setting this up and everyone participating on the call today. LaShawn and Robbie and Hira and Diana, all you beautiful people. We'll talk to you soon. See you tomorrow morning. Take care, everyone. Bye.